Okay, so welcome and good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so thank you for being here today for our free masterclass on ChatGPT Beyond the Power of Generative AI for All. So before we begin, we'd like to remind everyone to please turn on your cameras throughout the session. This helps us foster better engagement and ensures your attendance is counted for certificate purposes. So now I'd like to take a moment to introduce our esteemed trainer, Ms. Sunita. Ma'am Sunita is passionate about empowering learners with the latest technologies and creating an engaging educational environment with expertise in AI, prompt engineering, and automation. She brings a wealth of knowledge to the table, and we're truly excited to learn from her today. So without further ado, let's begin, Ma'am Sunita. Over to you.
Thank you, Tia. Hello, everyone. Very good evening to you all. So, I hope most of us are here. So, let's start our session now. So, as we all know, we are going to discuss about ChatGPT and related to ChatGPT, what are all the techniques behind that, and the prompt engineering or prompting techniques we are going to learn now. Let me share my screen. Just a second. Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Right. So now let's discuss about this. Instead of saying a one way communication, it must be good. If at all we do two-way communication, that is, it's a kind of discussion. In this coming next 1 hour, I would be more happy if it is in two-way discussion instead of one-way discussion. Let me share my knowledge, and along with that, maybe you can give your inputs. That's a better way of learning. So before going to have the topic, just briefly about myself. Already my colleague has introduced me. I'm Sunita. I'm head of academia at Garento Academy, and I'm also a research scholar doing my research in deep learning models, which used to detect shilling attacks on social media networks. And I'm also HRD accredited trainer. Then I have 15 plus years of experience in teaching and training. And I am from Garanto Academy. Who we are, what do we do in Malaysia especially? So Garanto Academy is the premier IT training institution. We are providing training on many market required trainings, which are uh, very popular courses in market nowadays. So we are doing training in multiple areas and multiple trainings, and we have been accredited with HRD CAR, and also we have associated with many other skill providing platforms through Malaysia as well as Singapore. Our CEO, Mr. Seeman Manamo, is leading us, and we are providing, with the help of him, we are able to provide multiple courses to the learners across the globe. Coming to objective, why we are here today. First, before going to start original topic, whatever we are going to have now, first let me tell you why we are here. I mean, why you are spending your 1 hour valuable time here on this platform. So there should be some objective behind that. You have some goal behind this learning of this 1 hour, right? So what you are going to learn from this 1 hour of discussion is, first thing, we are going to have some knowledge about what is ChatGPT. Maybe you already know very well about ChatGPT and other AI tools. Just we will discuss once again. and what is its real power, how can we best use ChatGPT in our day-to-day life, and also we can learn about prompt engineering techniques. How can we write best prompts to get out of the generative AI to get the required results, and then what are the different paths to upskill ourselves. This is motto of this 1 hour today. And before going to start this, let me congratulate you all once again for joining here. This 1 hour, you are spending your time for upskilling yourself. So please be with me and let us have this session communicatively, actively. Right. So briefly about generative AI. So what is generative AI? As you know already, and most of you are already interacting with many of the generative AI tools in today's world. So simply, it is generative AI is going to give us the data which is going to be created or generated by its machinery or tools or models, whatever it is using internally. So generative AI is the process of generating new content. That's where it is getting popular nowadays into this digital world. Of course, earlier generative AI, before the concept of generative AI, don't we have any models like what we are seeing today? Of course, we do have some AI models, but not same capacity as of generative AI. So traditional AI, I can say those are the models which we do have used before generative AI era are traditional AI models where we are interacting with up to some limitations, some content we can able to see, or we can able to classify, we can able to categorize. Only few tasks we are able to do with that particular AI. Then once this concept of deep learning model has been introduced to this world, then generative AI is able to generate new content for us based on the query, question, prompt, what we are giving to the model is able to generate the new content. That content can be any kind based on your prompt. That may be text, that may be image, that may be video, audio, or synthetic data, or something, whatever you code. So depending on the question what you are giving, you are interacting, you are getting the data which is generated by the generative AI models. Multiple models we are using nowadays, multiple generative AI models we are using nowadays based on the context. So simply, if I want to say what exactly is generative AI, and don't we have this generative AI earlier to this 2018 or 2019 is, yes, we do have that discriminative models. We can say traditional models which are capable of only classify, as you are seeing on the screen, the diagram, which clearly indicating that discriminative AI model is capable of only classifying. Suppose if I give a picture to the generative AI model, which is comprising, that picture is comprising or which is consisting of cats and dogs, right? A picture which I'm giving to a model, that model is capable of classifying which is dog, which is cat. That is the capability of discriminative model or traditional model, I can say. Then what exactly the generative AI can do is, suppose if I show a picture of cats and dogs to generative AI model and asking to generate similar kind of picture. So generative AI is going to create new picture, generate new picture similar to that one you are asking. So there comes the difference between traditional AI and generative AI. How do the generative AI can process your query, and how you are able to get the data, how the data is being generated by the model is, it is first the before going to process your query, first the model itself, it is called as foundation model, which is already trained on some massive amount of data. The model itself, it has already got trained on massive amount of data which comes from textbooks, blogs, Wikipedia, internet, and different other sources. And from all those sources, the training data has been led to the model, that is foundation model. Foundation model has been learned through this data and learning some patterns and able to recognize the patterns and able to generate the new data. So once learning stage has been completed, the training phase, that's called training phase, has been completed, then the foundation model is ready. And once the foundation model is being fine-tuned as per the requirements of the user, for example, a particular domain, OpenAI. If I take OpenAI, OpenAI is particularly working on one particular foundation model. So that is GPT. That is called GPT. So GPT is the foundation model, and OpenAI is working on that foundation model called GPT, maybe 3.5, 4, 4.0, 4.1, or 4.5 something. And it is fine tuning by particular domain. That foundation model is getting fine tuning or being trained on specific data, and which is the fine tuned model that is called ChatGPT. Right? I can say GPT is the foundation model, ChatGPT is the fine tuned model. So it is specific for one particular domain, OpenAI's domain, that particularly working on text processing or something other capabilities which are fine tuned on that particular GPT foundation models. So internally, first training phase, then second one is inception phase, where inference phase, where training phase, all the data is being trained to the model. It can learn all the patterns and able to recognize the patterns and able to generate the new data based on the input of the user. And in the second phase, it is able to take the input from the user and can process that, can understand the context, and can generate the content based on the context. This is what exactly happening in generative AI process. Of course, I'm discussing very high level processing. If we go internally, again, so much of uh, processing is being involved in generative AI models, how the model is been generating new data. That is again another subject. Now, what are all the capabilities of generative AI? Okay, generative AI is meant for generating data. Then, what kind of data it can generate? Initially, when we saw the maybe 2020, 2022, if we see when initial model was launched into this market, that is GPT 3.5, ChatGPT 3.5. So when we are interacting with that model, November 2022, once it was launched, we were able to only generate text data from that model. Today, if you see ChatGPT, whatever the version you are using, you can able to generate text data, videos, images, and code, synthetic data, audio, all this multi-model capability feature is being added to base model, and then it is been developing, improvising by version to version, and then nowadays we are able to use that ChatGPT in multimodal capacity. So that capacity or capability is been given to ChatGPT. So text generation is there, and we can also use ChatGPT or generative AI models to generate some images, audio, video generation, and code generation, data synthesis, augmentation, personalization, and you can also make it as your personal assistant and recommendation systems. We can use in recommendation systems also. So these are the different multimodal capabilities of generative AI. Suppose if you want to use this as for code generation, nowadays in development, software development industry, many of the tools are, people are using many of the tools, especially if I mention one such, GitHub Copilot is a very efficient tool where we can use this GitHub Copilot to generate the code, and we can develop different applications by using by using these kind of tools, GitHub Copilot and Replit. Multiple tools are available. So briefly, when I say generative AI is the large language model, and which is being trained on some massive amount of data, and then which is able to generate the new data by learning some patterns from the existing data. This is briefly about generative AI, and which is led to the new tool that is ChatGPT. Once it was released into the market, then today we are capable to use the features of ChatGPT. Then, what is ChatGPT? How can we use that ChatGPT to minimize our work time, or how can we benefit from this AI model, generative AI model called ChatGPT? Simply, I can say it is a fine-tuned model of GPT, or else we can say it is an interface between you and generative AI. As end user, you are sitting in front of your machine and you want to interact with some generative AI model. So you can use ChatGPT as a medium. You can convey your thoughts, your questions in terms of a prompt to this generative AI model called ChatGPT, and which is capable of processing your question and can get the answer in terms of a response. So once you are getting that response, you can evaluate that response. And if you satisfy with that response, you can use that. You can save your timings in your workplace, and you can more productively, you can work, you can utilize your work time, and you can benefit from it, these kind of AI tools. Now let's understand what exactly is ChatGPT. As already we know, basic points, those are just now we discussed. It's a fine-tuned model of GPT, and which is already trained on massive amount of data, and which is LLM, large language model, which was trained on by using GPT internal architecture, transformer architecture, and then it is capable of generating new data. Now, before continuing its features, let me show you the interface of ChatGPT. I hope all of you are already using ChatGPT. Only one simple question to make it interactive. May I know which version of ChatGPT you are using? Quick answer in chat box, please. Which version of ChatGPT you are using? Is it ChatGPT 4, 4.0 or any advanced versions? Are you using other than ChatGPT? Are you, your favorite other tools, maybe Copilot, Gemini, Claude? Quickly, can you take 1 minute time and put your answers in chat box, please? Which version of ChatGPT you are using? Copilot, Danny. Copilot, that's great. 3.5 and Copilot, okay. Multiple, yes. Good that you are using advanced tools also. Any others? How many of us here in the session? Almost 15 plus. So may I know what are the ChatGPT version you are using? Or else other models, AI models you are using? Copilot, only 3 answers I got, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's great. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for answering. Claude also, right, good. Yeah, now the next question is, anybody is using ChatGPT Plus or Pro? Okay, no problem. Leave it. So because I just wanted to tell you the features what are associated with ChatGPT and additional features what we can see with other versions. So once you open your ChatGPT window, this is the window where you can see the left side panel, which is showing us the controls of this window. You can go for new chart and other options available for us. You can have Sora. You can see Sora. Maybe you can open your ChatGPT window. What are all the controls you can see on your ChatGPT window? Observe the left side panel. You can able to find Sora. What is Sora? Do anyone know? Did you tried anyone? What exactly is Sora, which is appearing in your ChatGPT window? Sora is the video generation tool by OpenAI. It's an OpenAI product. You can generate images as well as videos, very high resolution videos it is capable to give you. But plus version, you can use more Sora. Sora can be generating very high resolution videos when you have plus version of ChatGPT. And if you go simply down to that Sora, you have GPTs, right? Just try to click on explore GPTs or GPTs option, which is available under Sora. And then you are able to see all the existing customized GPTs which are available with us here. So if you see that, these are all the existing GPTs. So category wise, you can observe writing. If at all you can go for writing content. If you want to generate new content, you can go for writing GPTs, whatever the custom GPTs available. Productivity, research and analysis, education, like that. DALI is another tool from OpenAI where you can generate images, right? So explore, you can find out maybe your customized GPTs as per your work requirement. For example, if I take my case, most of the time I can interact with the ChatGPT, which related to research and analysis. So I can go for research and analysis, and I'm able to see these are all the custom GPTs available, existing tools. Maybe I can use whichever I feel which is similar to my content or which is similar to my workplace, right? Like that, you can explore and find out whichever the tool is optimal to you. You can use those tools. And remaining, if you see this data harvester, insurance AI assistant, you can create your own custom GPT. Like all these GPTs which are available when you are exploring, you can also create your own custom GPT, but it is possible only for plus version, not for free version. Then I like that I created AI as insurance AI assistant and insurance helper. Okay, for some use case, I created that. So if you come down to that, it is giving you the history of charts, what you have interacted with the chat GPT, and it is giving you that. And slowly, if you go to the bottom of the left side screen, you can see your name. Just click on that and you can find out the top up menu here. You can see that customized chat GPT or settings. You just click on settings. So here you can customize up to some content. You can customize this chat GPT as per your requirements. This is the very good feature associated with this chat GPT. So for that, you can go for personalization. Once you click on your name, left corner, bottom corner, you can click on your name, click on settings, and then you can get this menu where you have this left side panel personalization option available. Click on that personalization and then you can give your instructions, custom instructions. You can click on custom instructions. Maybe you can try along with me. So once you click on custom instructions, it is asking some fields to enter. What should ChatGPT call you? If you want to give your name, you can personalize this, customize this by giving your name. I gave my name. And what do you do? It may be useful if you are interacting on personalized work, whenever you are writing prompts, writing your questions to ChatGPT or personalized questions. So sometimes it may be helpful to you if you give your information, what is your designation, right? What do you do? So I gave my designation and what traits should ChatGPT have. So I was having my thoughts that ChatGPT should help me in my content development when I'm doing my course development, curriculum writing, or else when I'm writing research articles, or else if you use your office place, if you want to generate some reports. So based on the requirement, you can use that traits, whatever you wanted to give. So respond professionally with accurate answers, should provide factual, up-to-date and verifiable information. A big no to fabrication, avoid common and routine answers, because ChatGPT, most of the cases, if you observe that, we are getting very common answers if you are asking general questions. So I don't want to see that routine and common answers. I want to have specified topic-wise specified answers. So that's the reason I mentioned this word here. So like that, whatever you are seeing on the screen, like that, you can give your own traits and customize the ChatGPT as per your personalization requirement. And once you give that, you can still it is asking anything else ChatGPT should know about you. You can give that. You can mention what you wanted to, how you wanted to interact with ChatGPT. That is, most of the time the search will be for professional edtech content. My domain is edtech. That's the reason I mentioned edtech content and research work. You can mention, for example, you're working for Picom client. So you're from Picom, right? So you're working for some particular domain of that particular client. So you can mention that I am working for so and so. Many times I wanted to see this data related to this client and this domain. So like that you can. So mention all these traits, whatever you wanted to mention with this chat GPT, and you can personalize this chat GPT up to some level. And other options you try, you can explore very general options available here. If you want to connect to any external apps, connect to your files like Google Drive. If you want to connect to your Google Drive directly, you can connect. Microsoft OneDrive, any other external sources you want to connect, you can connect. And data controls, here improve the model for everyone. If you click on data controls, it is showing that data controls, whatever you have enabled and disabled. So improve the model for everyone, which is or enable or disable. That is your wish. If you want to give your data control to OpenAI, because this ChatGPT by OpenAI, right? So if you want to give your data control to OpenAI, you can make it enable, otherwise disable. That's purely your personal. And all this you can manage. If you want to download all the charts, you have interacted with the Chat GPT, you have many charts, like you see left side, all the history is available for you, right? You wanted to download all those, then simply go to export data. If you click on export, it is going to export all your charts into one particular file. Later, you can make that. For example, in one particular instance of ChatGPT session, you have interacted with one particular task. You want to download all the communication, what you have meant for that particular session. So you want to download that, you can simply click on that export button and it will download for you. You can later draw the summary from that total sum from whatever the interaction session is there. You can draw the inferences from that chat, right? So that is also possible. And other remaining other are general options available with this security controls and account. So the major thing what I wanted to point out here is personalization. You can personalize this ChatGPT as per your requirement. Then once you go to the new chart, this is. So here, as you know already, many of you are already interacting with ChatGPT by using some external plugins also, not daily communication like typing prompt. Sometimes we may require some external plugins also to be utilized in our workplace or whenever you are doing some specific task. So for that, you have this option called tools. So once in chat box, if you just click on that tools option, you are able to see these are the different options available. Web search, deep research, canvas, think longer, create image, study and learn. Study and learn is the newest option which has been loaded to ChatGPT just 1 week back. Before that, it was not there. What is the use of this study and learn option is specifically for learners. This option is for learners. And once you click on this option, it is ready to provide you the information or content, create the content which is related to your study plans, whatever you wanted to study. For example, you want to upskill yourself in generative AI. So you just go to click on study and learn. Then study and learn plan, learn tool is enabled, which is the plugin is enabled. Then you can type your prompt here, which is related to upskilling yourself, or you can learn something by giving some prompt here, right? So whatever the tool you wanted to, you can select plugin, you can select and you can use that. Let us experiment with this. Create image. So I have selected another tool, create image. So once I click on that create image, now ChatGPT is ready to create an image for me. Okay. So let us try, with your permission, shall we try for one example? Shall we create an image? Are you ready? Can somebody give me your input? What is in your mind to create for a image? Are you ready to give me some input? What is exactly in your mind to create as a image? Right. Let me try myself. Create a realistic image about how create a realistic image, or maybe you can write in your own words whatever you wanted to. Pixar kind of image. Create a realistic image about how, maybe otherwise I can give me simple example. Realistic image about a learning generative AI through study and learn platform. Okay. Let us see. It will take some time to create an image. We have used this tool called image creation through this chat GPT, and we wrote a query that create a realistic image about a man learning generative AI through study and learn platform. I mentioned some example. So let us see whether this is able to create image for us, which is realistic one or not. So like that, you can use that tools, different plugins which are available with ChatGPT. I have crossed my limit with this image creation, just got better. Okay. Right. Still it is generating image. Okay. Maybe you can also try along with me. If you got really nice image as the output, why don't you share with us what you tried and what you got? Maybe you can try for some related images of your workplace. So like that, we can use external tools along with this chat GPT, include in your prompt, and you can use that. Anybody got output already? Have you tried? If you tried already, if you got output, why don't you share in chat box your prompt and image? No, no one tried. Okay, meanwhile, let us see what are all the other tools available. Deep research. So, okay, right. We got output here. See, what I gave is very clearly we mentioned realistic image that a man learning generative AI through study and learn platform. So I mentioned generative AI. So it is clearly showing that the laptop man where he is studying generative AI and study and learn platform. It is mentioned in top of the screen. It is mentioned that platform name here. So like that, you can create images by using this external tools available with this chat GPT. So overall, this is the ChatGPT window and where we can interact with the generative AI model to generate new content. Now let us go back to presentation and let us discuss some capabilities of ChatGPT and prompt engineering. What are the techniques? What are the prompt engineering techniques we do have? How best we can write our prompts to the model? So what are the key features of ChatGPT? We know already that it is a natural language understanding machine or model, I can say. So which we can use our natural language to interact with the AI model. And we can give our conversations just like a natural language conversation to the AI model, which can understand and contextualize and will generate the output for us. And which is having also multimodal capabilities, which also can give code assistance and custom instructions. We can give sometimes custom instructions, which is you can give some specified custom instructions to the model through some different channel. And web browsing capability, we just now we saw create image capability like that. Okay, somebody shared their output. Oh, that's nice. The prompt what you have used, as have you satisfied with that output what you got, Audrey? Okay, that's nice. So that's purely, the output is purely based on the question or prompt what you're giving to the model. That's what my intention, why I have that example I showed you. Now, coming back to this features of ChatGPT, web browsing, advanced reasoning. Web browsing is also the another feature associated with ChatGPT. Now, the question is, why web browsing? When we are writing a prompt to the model can't give that data, whatever it is available on the internet. Are we able to get the data, what is available on the internet as of today? Then why additionally this web browsing feature is associated with ChatGPT as a plugin again? If anyone is interested, you can answer, please. The question is, why this additional feature, external feature web browsing given to ChatGPT? Why is ChatGPT not able to draw the information or data from internet? Why again externally we need to have this web browsing option for ChatGPT? when we are writing a prompt, is it capable of using internet data and give us the outputs? Yes or no? Or why it is? Okay, somebody gave answer yes. So, why? What is the reason why it is having web browsing option is when my one let me explain one example. Initially, when ChatGPT was launched November 2022, are you capable of generating image what we generated just now at that time? No, right? No, only text generation was possible at the time when ChatGPT was released into the market. Then later, after a few days, some improvements was some research has been happened and some different version has been released into the market. And as of today, what we are seeing ChatGPT 4.0, 4.01, O1, O2, O3 mini models, and then 4.5, whatever the models we are seeing. So we are capable of generating images, not only processing text, generating images, generating audio, and some other multimodal capabilities. How it is possible is by adding extra plugins to the ChatGPT model, base model. So that was interact that was given to the model, and then that's the reason we are capable of generating this multimodal data can be generated, and we can give as the input also, not only output, we can give as the input also. You can give image as the input, you can get image as the output, multimodal capability, right? Then why web browsing is another external option given to ChatGPT is ChatGPT limitation is it directly don't access the internet data. As of today, as of this minute, if you want to see the data from internet through ChatGPT, it is not possible. ChatGPT is not a real-time data. It is not going to give you the real-time data. It is not going to fetch from the internet and giving you. It is going to fetch from its learned patterns, trained data, which is already trained. So from the trained data, which is already learned patterns are available, from that patterns, it is going to match the data as per the context and giving you the response. But it is not going to give you the real-time data. There comes the problem or drawback of this ChatGPT. That's the reason this web browsing capability is being attached, added to this as the external feature to ChatGPT, right? Advanced reasoning. So GPT-4 onwards, we are able to see this advanced reasoning capability. GPT 3.5, we couldn't. So GPT-4, 4.1, 4.5, and 4.01, 4.0 mini models, all this, we are able to see this advanced reasoning. So when you are giving a complex problem to ChatGPT, it is capable of generating outputs based on reason. So what is the reason why it is generating that output, why it is giving that output? It is going to give you the logic also. What is the logic behind that, reason behind that? So it is simply step by step, it is going to show us how that complex problem is solved and generated that output. That is possible with this GPT-4 models. And deep research is another feature added to ChatGPT. So we can go with instead of going for just a regular task, day-to-day tasks, sometimes you are dealing with some complex tasks which involves more research work. So in such a case, you can enable this feature, deep research. So which is particularly going to fetch the content, generate the content which is fact-based and research-based content. So that feature has been added to ChatGPT. And other models, what are the models available with the ChatGPT is O1, O2 family of models, that is specialized models, and 4.5, 4.0, 4.0 mini, 4.1 last April, 4.1 released. And as of now, we are using 3.5, 4, 4.0, 4.0 mini, all this. And soon we are going to expect maybe within 1 week time, they said mid-August, we are going to have another model called 5. ChatGPT 5 is going to be released. Maybe August, they said already. OpenAI said already in August, we are going to have this ChatGPT 5 model is released into market. Right. And why now we are learning this ChatGPT? Why only ChatGPT, and why now we are learning this ChatGPT? Of course, based on your requirement, you can use other models also, like somebody mentioned Copilot, right? Somebody mentioned Gemini, somebody mentioned Claude, somebody mentioned Mistral. So the model is depending on your requirement, your domain, your context. So based on that, you can use that model. So why ChatGPT is here? Because this is the model which we are seeing since the inception of this generative AI. The first model we have seen. Maybe most of the people of this world used to this technology, ChatGPT, this model, especially generative AI model, ChatGPT. Of course, other models also available. You can use based on the requirement. It is not, there is no such hard and fast rule. Then why now is, of course, because maybe, for example, today morning, once you woke up, you have used many times this AI model in your day-to-day life, right? So maybe once you enter into the office, if you have your personal AI assistant, you have gone through that to-do list of your AI assistant, what it is gives you, and how to interact with meetings, and what are the schedules of the meetings, timings, and all those things. So we can save our time by using these kind of AI models. We can personalize these kind of AI models into our workplace and our personal life also. So we can benefit from these kind of models by writing the exact correct prompt, whatever we wanted to get as the output. So if I take instance of Picom, for example, here I mentioned on this, if I see that how Picom is capable of giving its services for My Digital, Malaysia's digital economy blueprint, that My Digital. So how Picom is contributing its talent force in view of country's GDP. So if I go for that, I got these figures from internet that Malaysia, My Digital, Malaysia's initiative, that My Digital, which targets 22.6% GDP contribution from digital economy by 2025, which is possible, right? How it is possible? Because of by using these kind of all advanced AI models, generative AI models like ChatGPT. You can utilize ChatGPT, its capabilities, all whatever we discussed just now. You can make use of those capabilities, and then you can make your work more collaborative, more what can I say, more which is collaborative work, and you can have more initiatives towards the betterment of the company, right? So like these initiatives, we can able to take up, and we can work with that initiatives by having ChatGPT like tools, adapting ChatGPT like tools. National AI Roadmap promotes AI adoption in public and private sectors. So many of the public and private sectors nowadays are capable of making their own policy, AI policy, and their own way of using this AI into the workplace, and to make better utilization of the AI sources into betterment of the organizations. So already some targets have been given by My Digital, and as per my knowledge, it is already in processing, and people are working towards that. So in view of that, over 1 million Malaysians are to be reskilled by this initiatives. Over 1 million Malaysians to be reskilled in digital and AI capabilities. So that is very much required for today's world. And if we talk about what are the emerging roles, if I want to enhance my skills, and what are the ways, in which ways I can enhance, what are the most trending and demand categories in this market is, if I talk especially Malaysia use cases, maybe I can say data scientist, automation specialist, and AI analysts are the main prompt engineers, AI analysts. These are the main job roles which are trending, are more popular as of this initiatives, today's initiatives. So we discussed just now about how better we can use the capabilities of ChatGPT and generative AI models. Let us go with this simple example. Why don't we see this in terms of a practical implementation, right? So let us execute this. As you are seeing on the screen, this is the chart, which is I have just now I have pick up from Picom website only. So I gave some research work, and I downloaded this, and let me introduce this example by executing one prompt. So what I'm doing here in this example is, so I gave this simple chart as the input, image input, and then I'm writing a query prompt that is analyze this chart and provide key growth trends between 2017 and 2024. Observations on projected digital economy, share of GDP, and a two-sentence summary. So what exactly this diagram is depicting and how the growth rate and in which year, how much percentage is the growth rate, all these key growth trends I wanted to see, and finally wanted to see this summary in two sentences. So what you can learn by these example is multimodal capability feature is a we are using in this example. We are giving image as the input and we want to see some text as the output. And another one is analysis. Data analysis capacity is associated with this ChatGPT tool. It is going to analyze the image what you are providing as an input and provide you the insights. So once you execute this, what output you are going to see is simply it is giving you the key trends of this particular graph what you have provided since year 2017 to 2024. See how simply it is giving the details of that particular image. The digital economy grew steadily from 250 RM to 50.8 billion RM to so and so for an RM 469.5 billion in 2024. So the growth rate, how the key growth trend has been happened in between these 2 years, 17 and 24 is this is very clearly it is showing us. So how it is possible? How this growth rate is possible, digital economy growth rate is possible 2017 to 2024 from 250 billion dollar not dollars RM to 469 billion RM. How it is possible is because of this all AI initiatives like My Digital, right? Picom is introducing multiple digital initiatives to this Malaysian market. So based on those, it is going to be taken that consideration and then it is giving that knowledge to us here in this case, right? Observation on projected digital economy. What are its observations? And then third one, what we asked, two-sentence summary report. So it is simply giving us the summary report of that particular image. So like that, you can use this ChatGPT generative AI model to analyze your data in very simple way, and you can get your insights from the data. And if I go with the different prompting techniques while writing a prompt to the model, what are the different prompting techniques we have? So we have multiple prompting techniques. Before learning multiple prompting techniques, what exactly is the prompt? Prompt is very simple. It's an instruction given to the AI model, not only ChatGPT, any AI model. How you can interact with AI model is by using a prompt. So I can say it is a instruction or input or a statement which we can give to the machine model, and you can able to get output from that input what you have mentioned to the model. Prompt engineering is the process of generating output based on the question you gave to the model. For example, you gave a question, generate a 5-page report for my workplace on workplace ethics, for example, right? Or AI policy of your particular company, Picom's AI policy. Generate me 2-page report on Picom AI policy. So it is going to generate. How it is considering that prompt what you are giving, it is going to consider as the question. First, it understand the context. So by reading that question, first it understand the context, whether the context is global or specific region or something like that. Because I have asked PICOM. PICOM is related to Malaysia's initiative. So it is going to consider the context and then bifurcate the question again to the next level, that is going to generate a report, AI policy report, that is targeting 2 pages. So first it is going to understand the context. Again, next step, it is going to how to generate the output. So all this process, whatever is being taken by the AI model internally, once you give the prompt, that is being comes under prompt engineering. And how you write a question to the AI model is comes under prompt engineering technique, right? We have multiple prompt engineering techniques. When we are writing a prompt, we need to consider some rules or some design principles. It is always good practice to follow some design principles while writing a prompt to the machine. So in view of that, some ethical considerations we need to keep in our mind, some ethical considerations. Always we should avoid some uh, dangerous output or biased output or privacy related output. These kind of outputs we need to avoid while writing the question itself to the model. So how can we write? For example, if you see that on the screen, I gave describe a CEO. If you gave this prompt as the question to AI model, there may be a chance that a CEO may be the output you are getting he or she, right? Generally, CEO may be male or female. So once you are getting output only gender based biased one. Suppose if your AI model is giving he only, mentioned he only as the CEO, then obviously we can expect the model is biased one. It is representing only biased outputs. So there you can evaluate your outputs and then you can use. So don't blindly use the outputs, whatever generated by the AI model. You need to evaluate it and you need to mitigate your prompt while writing. So then it is always good practice to get and required outputs based on the question what you are giving. So these are some ethical considerations. Always keep in mind. Don't give personal details when you are interacting with AI models. Don't give your personal details and don't give misinformation to the model. Sometimes somebody can have some misinformation, some information which is not factual, which is not legal. So try to avoid such kind of context, right? Over reliance. Don't completely rely on the outputs of AI models always. Suppose, especially when you come to healthcare domain, if you are asking some question, ChatGPT, diagnose diagnose this illness from symptoms. You are giving some symptoms and you are asking the model to diagnose this. So don't simply rely on the output. You need to evaluate it, whether it is the correct one or not, because this is finally, it is the AI model only, not a human generated one, right? So compulsory, we need to evaluate it and then we can use that outputs. So some ethical guidelines while writing a prompt to the model. So be neutral always. Don't make the machine to misunderstand or misinformation. These guidelines are always helpful for us. And prompting, while we are doing some prompting techniques, core concepts are there. Those are how can we write a prompt by using parameters and prompt structure. Always context, length, and simplicity of the prompt. These are the major principles we need to follow. Always mention the context, mention the length of the output or format of the output, and mention the style of the output, what you wanted to see. Suppose you wanted to see the output in a table format. You mention very clearly in your prompt. And suppose you wanted to see only 300 words article. So better always mention your length, output length, 300 word article, right? Then always give context instead of asking direct question to the AI model. It is always good practice to mention context clearly. Then the machine will understand, the model, AI model will understand the context and will give you the exact output what you are expecting. Try to avoid hallucination and fabrication by writing clear prompts. Let me show you prompt design principles. So these are the principles which we need to follow while writing a prompt to the model. Clarity and specificity. This is the first and basic rule we need to follow while writing a prompt. Sometimes we are writing a prompt which is very vague and which is not clear, right? Which is very ambiguous. Model is very getting ambiguity about your prompt, which is not easily understandable by the model. So it is not a good prompt, not a good practice. Always be clear and be specific. You can mention exactly what you want and write precise instructions. Don't go for lengthy prompts. And role framing. Always it is a good practice to have a role, assign a role, act as a financial advisor. That is the role you are assigning to the machine. Act as a financial advisor. Persona based prompt. We can call this technique as a persona based prompt. right? Then contextual grounding. Mention clear context to the model, then accurate outputs will be generated. Then explicit formatting. Just now I mentioned 300-word article or 50 pages, or sorry, 50-word length points, right? Or bullet points, or table format with fields. So like that, you try to mention output format. Then few short examples. This is another good practice while writing a prompt. If you are expecting exactly the same style of output what you have already in your mind, so in such a case, give some examples to the model. I want to have output like this. Example one, example two. So if you provide some examples to the model and you are expecting output also in the same example, then that is comes under this technique called few shot prompting. Like few shot, we have chain of thought prompting, tree of thought prompting, like different techniques are available. So based on the context, we can use those. And always balanced and neutral tone. So don't command and don't AI model to understand your context in a different way. So always use the balanced and neutral tone. So it is always a good practice to avoid biased one and to get hallucinated one. You can avoid these kind of outputs once you write, once you maintain balanced and neutral tone. Modularity is again another practice we can use while writing a prompt. If your prompt is very complex one, bifurcate that prompt. For example, task one, task two, task three. Like that, you can break down the prompt, complex prompt into simple prompts, and you can give that. Modularity is a good practice again. Then prompt robustness. Of course, you can maintain robustness by writing a clear prompt. And system plus user instructions. This is possible. You can write system instructions to the model. First, you can write some system instruction. Then based on that system instruction, you can give some user instructions, multiple user instructions. Then instruction constraints. You can also mention some conditions in the prompt. While writing a prompt, don't go more than 2 pages. That is the condition, right? Or translate this paragraph into French, but keep all names and dates in English only. That is the condition. So like that, you can write constraint-based prompts also. So multiple techniques are there. These are the simple prompt design principles we can follow while writing a prompt to the machine to get better results from ChatGPT. So we have many other techniques available: positive, negative, iteration, few shot, constraint-based, chain of thought, system prompts, and parameters. So we can discuss this some other time. Now I'll stop my discussion here, my explanation here. Sorry. Yeah. So if at all any questions, please. Actually, I'm sorry, I could not able to cover all the things in this 1 hour time. There is a lot of things to discuss. Just only basic high level details we have discussed here. So if you want to more information and if you want to upskill more about these kind of courses, generative AI and prompt engineering, please feel free to touch with us. And our admins are here. They can share our contact details with you. So anytime you can ping us. We are here to help you to upskill talent. Now the platform is open to you. Any questions? Somebody gave question, can we have the presentation slides? Okay, let me find out from my CEO and then I'll let you know. Yeah, any questions? Tia, maybe you can share mail IDs or our website. So if somebody really wants to upskill yourself, please feel free to touch base with us. Any of our admins will contact you. So thank you once again, all, for attending this session. And I hope you have learned something. If at all you need more, please feel free to touch with me. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Ma'am Sunita. Once again, everyone, we have the attendance form on the Zoom chat for your certificates to be shared after the session. And may we request everyone before we end the session, may we request everyone to turn on their cameras just for a quick group photo, if it's okay for. Okay, nice to see your lovely faces. How about the others? Okay, hi, Miss Carr, Miss Saw, Miss Alice Wong, Miss Alice, Mr. Yap, and Mr. Hugh. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, hi, Mr. Gerard, Miss Samantha. Okay, any others? Okay, Sir Aravin, good afternoon. Again, thank you. And we have Miss Sunita's LinkedIn ID on the Zoom chat, also our website. Please don't forget to take a quick look on our. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so in one, two, and three, smile. Okay, another one, please. Hold on. Okay, so one, two. Okay, very nice to meet you all. Again, if you have problems in signing on the forms on the Zoom chat, we'll be here in 10 minutes so you can answer them as well. If you have any other questions, Miss Sunita is still